In the heart of a remote countryside, shrouded by a perpetual mist and whispered about in hushed tones, lay the sinister forest known as the Ebonwood. This place held a reputation that sent chills down the spines of even the bravest souls. The villagers who lived in the nearby town of Hollowbrook spoke of the forest with a mixture of fear and fascination, for it was said that the Ebonwood consumed anyone who dared to venture within its dark depths. Generations of locals had passed down tales of the forest's malevolent nature. Stories spoke of travelers who had entered the Ebonwood, never to return. Rumors swirled about eerie apparitions, haunting echoes, and the unnerving sensation that something unseen watched from the shadows. The most chilling of all were the whispers of the ancient curse said to hang over the forest, a curse that caused those who entered to vanish without a trace. One resident of Hollowbrook, a young man named Ethan, had always been captivated by the tales of the Ebonwood. Curiosity gnawed at his mind day and night, driving him to seek answers where others had only found trepidation. Armed with determination and a desire to uncover the truth, Ethan resolved to enter the forest himself. One gloomy morning, with the mist hanging low and the sky heavy with foreboding clouds, Ethan stood at the edge of the Ebonwood. His heart raced as he gazed into the abyss of twisted trees and shadowy undergrowth. The forest seemed to beckon him forward, its depths promising answers to the questions that had haunted his thoughts. With a deep breath, Ethan stepped over the threshold and into the Ebonwood. The air grew heavy with an unnatural stillness, and the light dimmed as if swallowed by the oppressive darkness. His footsteps were muffled by the dense carpet of fallen leaves, and each rustling leaf seemed to echo like a distant whisper. Hours turned into days as Ethan ventured deeper into the forest. The trees seemed to close in around him, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. He felt a growing unease, as though unseen eyes were studying his every move. Yet, the forest held an inexplicable allure, drawing him further in. As the days stretched into weeks, Ethan's thoughts began to blur. He could no longer remember how long he had been within the Ebonwood, and his sense of time seemed to wane with each passing moment. Shadows danced in the corners of his vision, and strange voices echoed in his ears, their words unintelligible yet hauntingly familiar. At last, Ethan stumbled upon a clearing bathed in an eerie, sickly light. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient, gnarled tree. Its twisted branches reached out like skeletal arms, and its bark was etched with symbols that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Ethan's heart raced as he realized that he had found what he sought, a connection to the heart of the Ebonwood's mystery. As he approached the tree, Ethan felt a surge of energy coursing through him. Visions flashed before his eyes, revealing fragments of the forest's history. He saw figures moving through the shadows, their faces obscured by darkness. He heard whispers of a curse, of a hunger that could only be satiated by the lives of those who entered the forest. Suddenly, the ground beneath Ethan's feet shifted, and he felt himself sinking into the earth. Panic gripped him as he realized that he was being consumed by the very forest he had sought to conquer. The tree's branches seemed to wrap around him, their grip unbreakable. As darkness closed in, Ethan's last thoughts were of the village he had left behind and the loved ones who would never know his fate. Days turned into weeks, and the villagers of Hollowbrook spoke of Ethan's disappearance with a heavy heart. Some believed that he had fallen victim to the curse of the Ebonwood, while others held out hope that he might one day return. Yet, in the heart of the forest, an ancient tree stood as a testament to the insatiable hunger that lurked within the Ebonwood's depths. And so, the Ebonwood continued to loom, its secrets buried deep within its shadows. The curse endured, drawing in those who sought to uncover its mysteries, only to vanish into the forest's unfathomable abyss. The legend of the Ebonwood lived on, a haunting reminder that some truths are best left undiscovered. Every night at 4:09 a.m., someone or something knocks on my door. It all started on a dark Saturday night. I was laying in bed with my fast-asleep snoring husband. I couldn't sleep because of his snoring, so I decided to read some stories on Reddit. When I checked the time, it was 4:07 a.m. Shit. I had been reading stories for 3 full hours. I set my broken phone on my white nightstand and decided to try to fall asleep. In my trying to tune out the snoring of my husband, that's when I heard it. 4 whole knocks on my front door. I checked the time, 4:09 a.m. I was startled because of the noise and the fact that how could someone be knocking at the door so late? And if it was the neighbors, that isn't possible too, because they left for a 2-week vacation a couple of days ago. I decided to ignore whoever it was because I sure as heck wasn't going to get up at 4:09 a.m., see who it was and open the door. A couple of minutes later, I drifted off to sleep. When I finally woke up, I turned expecting to see my beloved husband beside me, either sleeping or awake. I saw something more horrifying. Something even after therapy that you were never going to forget. I saw my husband, my poor sweet old husband, was surrounded by a pool of blood. He was missing what it seemed like 4 limbs, and he had 409 stab wounds all over his body. I screamed so hard I think I broke some glass, and my neighbors, even on their vacation in Hawaii, heard me. When the police saw me, they immediately knew I wasn't the one who murdered him. He was a strong, tall and buff man. He was my man. And now he was gone. The funeral was a complete blur. I only remember crying hard while his mom and my mom held me. When I got home that night, I decided to sleep on the couch. I couldn't bear sleeping in that bed knowing that my husband was murdered there. It didn't make sense to me how I didn't wake up. How I didn't hear anything. When I finally fell asleep, that's when I heard the exact same 4 knocks. When I checked my watch, it was exactly 4:09 a.m. I decided to open the door. I thought maybe it was the neighbors had flown early to console me. When I opened the door, all I saw was a package and a note. On the note it said, "It was me. I was the one who murdered your husband. If you don't want to lose someone close to you again, keep opening the door every night when I knock 4 times. You will continue to open the door until the very night I stop." I brought the package inside, and when I opened it, I was horrified. Inside the package were my dear old husband, 4 missing limbs. Dr. Elena Ivanova and Commander Jack Mitchell had been orbiting Earth aboard the International Space Station, ISS, for 6 months. Bound by science and the vastness of space, their nationalities as a Russian cosmonaut and an American astronaut seemed insignificant. The beauty of Earth from space fostered friendship rather than division. One fateful day, as the pair was conducting an experiment, the emergency communication line buzzed to life. Jack's face paled as he listened to the message from NASA. Minutes later, Elena received her orders from Roscosmos. The Earth, their home, was at war. Nuclear missiles had been launched by both Russia and the US. The blue planet they had been admiring was now being engulfed in mushroom clouds and radiating an eerie glow. The silence that followed was palpable, each absorbed in the weight of their own thoughts. Then came their respective final orders. Each was to eliminate the other. A precaution, both agencies argued, to prevent potential retaliation or sabotage aboard the ISS. Eyes locked, a million words passed between them. The weight of their orders, the gravity of their situation, loomed large. The ISS, once a symbol of unity, had now become a microcosm of Earth's chaos. Jack made the first move, slowly moving towards the medical bay. Elena, equally hesitant, positioned herself between him and the station's communication array. "Jack," Elena whispered, her voice quivering, "we've shared stories, dreams. We've watched over Earth together. This isn't us." Jack's gaze was tormented. "I have my orders, Elena. Just as you have yours." A tense silence settled, both knowing that the limited resources on the ISS would make it a battle of wits rather than strength. Days passed, each taking turns sleeping, always keeping a watchful eye on the other. Elena considered tampering with the station's oxygen levels, while Jack thought of locking Elena out during her next spacewalk. But each time, the shared humanity held them back. One evening, as the desolated Earth rotated below, Elena approached Jack with a proposition. "What if," she began, "instead of eliminating each other, we find a way out together? The ISS has escape pods. We could aim for a neutral zone on Earth." Jack, looking down at the scarred planet, hesitated. "Do you think there's even a neutral left down there?" But hope, often born from despair, nudged them forward. The duo worked diligently, recalibrating an escape pod's trajectory for the least affected area on Earth. However, as they were about to board the pod, a wrenching thought struck Elena. "Jack, if we go down there as a Russian and an American, we'll be targets." "Maybe we should," Jack interrupted. "Stay? And wait for resources to run out or for one of us to finally crack?" Silence. Then, with a resolute nod, Elena said, "No. We go down together, as humans." They boarded the escape pod, leaving behind the ISS and the weight of their orders. Hurtling towards Earth, they knew the descent would be perilous, the world unfamiliar. But they clung to a shared hope that their unity, in the face of division, might be a small beacon in the aftermath of a world torn apart. They were not cosmonaut or astronaut, Russian or American. They were two souls, bound by a shared planet and a shared destiny.